Alright, so I know we had some discussion yesterday about going over our tips for just the general nipping, whether that's on a good boy, whether that's on us or on something else that he is not awarded. I wanted to go over just that full scenario and where we're at with it, where he will be at with it, and where to go with it. So, as you can see now, he's up on the place perch, which I sent yesterday a video discussing that and the importance of that. He has his lead on. This is going to be something we're going to leave on when he's, what I like to say, in inactive training and active training. So when we're in active training, we're doing, like you saw in the obedience video, we're doing place work, we're running signals, obviously walks, and learning a loose leash, that's active training. Recall training, I'll have him tied to this with a long line, so they'll still be on. So he's really used to slip leads, what they feel like, what they mean when they're on, and they're associated with training. So we're going to want to use this a lot. And inactive training is when we're doing like long term place work, or we're going to do like a supervised session, I call it. So you have a, roughly 4-month-old dog. It's not safe to leave a 4-month-old dog unsupervised with free range of the house for obvious reasons. But when we need to, do some work from home, we want to watch a movie, something like that, we need to be able to put our dog in a safe space where they can self-regulate, which is what he's doing right now, chewing on this bone. They can relax, feel part of the group. They don't need constant attention, but they're also not allowed to go get into mischief. So when he's up on here, it's an implied stay. So it's not a rigid stay like the command where they hold position. He can roll around on here, get up, turn in a circle, scratch himself, chew on a bone, chew on a different toy, whatever it is. He doesn't need to be sitting in a certain position, but he needs to hold this general place until we free him, which is grab the lead, say FREE, and then he can leave the place if we want him to. We can walk with him away. He doesn't need to. He can also stay there because free is not a command. It's a relinquishing of giving commands. We'll start first with the chewing other objects in the home, and then we'll go to the puppy nipping on us. He should always have something to chew that's more valuable than, my wicker basket here. I think I even saw you had something very similar to this. So we have things here that he could be chewing on, and without command or direction, he jumped up here and he chose to chew on a real bone. If we are not providing him with enough different things to test his bite inhibition with, he is going to get bored, he's going to get creative, and he's going to go back to a wicker basket or to a plant. Two things right here that I know he's chewed with you guys. It's okay to have the cutesy plush toys and stuff around. That's fine. I buy some of those too. but they're mainly going to be interested in chewing higher value things. Higher value real bones, butcher bones, water buffalo bones, basically hard bones that they can break down slowly over time. It keeps them focused and it gives them a goal, and it's like self-paying. Essentially, it becomes the trainer, and instead of us needing to observe him and constantly mark and reward him, he just gets a little bit out of the bone each time, a little bit out of the bone. And I mean, the bone that he's chewing on right now is very small. Yes. It's over here. It's over here. Good boy. You don't want to just take something from him for no reason and not give it back, obviously. We gave it back and we clicked when we gave it back. If he's getting creative and he doesn't find these little bits of bone interesting, you got to get creative too and find something else, calling it peanut butter or something like that. But essentially, hi buddy, I know he's listening now. Essentially, that chewing is just a manifestation of curiosity, building the ABI, acquired bite index, and boredom. So we need to supply enough interesting things for him to chew that aren't our furniture, and aren't our baskets, and aren't our plants. Now, what happens when he does chew the basket? He does chew the furniture. He does chew the plant. Great question. Any act of aware disobedience, so obedience that or disobedience that is for the sake of disobedience. It's not just a mistake, let's say. He knows now not to chew on stuff, so if he chews on stuff, he's aware that he's misbehaving. Needs to start with a disruption. You have to disrupt the behavior that's taking place before we implement anything else from there. So, if you recall the 4 quadrants video of operant conditioning, right? B.F. Skinner, if we're disrupting or correcting a behavior, where are we in those quadrants? We're on the P side, okay? What type of P we're going to use? It's going to be when a dog knows that something is wrong, it's going to be P plus, okay? So we're going to add something to disrupt or correct the behavior. So he has his slip lead on, he's walking around the house, you see him chewing on something he shouldn't. What I like to use is a pet corrector. They're everywhere. You can get them at any pet store. You can get them online. It just makes a little compressed air noise. Not like an air horn. But it makes like a little sound, but much more forceful. That's going to be your P plus. And eventually, that's just going to be your voice. But right now, he hasn't listened to you guys. So if he gets into something and I go, he stops. Obviously, I do it more loudly. Add a clap or a stomp. I can just say, hey. I use hey as a disruptor. It doesn't matter. Since I use so many things, we need to have a universal thing that transfers from here to there. And then over time, I'll send you another great instruction video on how to pair this with our voice. But we phase these out. We don't need to carry the air around. And we end up just having a negative marker. That means knock it off. Cut out what you're doing. So we're going to P plus. We're going to disrupt, correct first. So chewing on the wicker basket can. The can is enough to get him to stop the behavior and to provide us with a very small window to instill the next command. After he stops, since he's so young, we need to show him in that little window, one, that we like that he stopped, two, what he should be doing instead. We have to do those three things in quick succession. If they're done too far apart, he won't understand what the heck we're talking about. So it needs to look like disrupt, that's the P+. He stops the behavior. We then want to reinforce him listening to us, right? We want to reinforce him stopping a bad behavior. So then we're on the top of the quadrants. We're on the R. That's going to be R+. We're going to P+, correct, disrupt, air can. He stops. We R+, we say good boy. Not in a high-pitched voice. Don't cheerlead it. And it's not going to be a click and a treat because it's not a command and he's not doing anything exceptional right now. We just need him to know that we like that he listened to us. So P+, R+, good boy. Once he stops, and then you grab the lead. If he is in a place he shouldn't be, bring him to a place he should be, like his place mat, his place perch, whichever, anywhere that's a sanctioned, positive, good area. Bring him to that good area and give him something good to chew on. Okay? And when we bring them there, do it under command. So we're switching drives now from this destructive drive now to an obedient drive, a pack drive. We bring him over to the place perch or the place mat and we command, place, point, and shoot. He goes on, fourth paw's on. Now we bring back in more training tools. We mark. And then instead of giving him a treat, if he was chewing on something, in this hypothetical he is, we mark and we give him something to chew on. Okay? So we said the command. He did the command. We now want to reinforce him listening. So we are going to R+, mark, real bone, mark, Kong and peanut butter, mark, some toy that he really likes to chew on. Why I stick to real bones like this over all those toys, those plush toys and whatever, they can get kind of bored of those really fast because they're not getting anything other than chewing out of it. But if you have real bones, bones that can be broken down slowly and safely over time, they get little inadvertent rewards, so it keeps them encouraged, it keeps them focused, especially young dogs. It's hard to get them to focus on some silly little rubber toy because they're not getting anything out of it. And especially little dogs, they need to be getting rewarded or they're going to be bored and move on to something else. Okay, so one more time. He's chewing on a wicker basket. He should have his slip lead on because we're doing inactive training. He should have his slip lead on a lot when we're doing inactive training. Don't leave it on him when you can't see him because I don't want him to chew it. But when he's around like this, leave it on. He's listening very well. I hope you can see that. He's taking all this in, so I hope you guys are too. Choose the wicker basket. He shouldn't do that. Shh. Nope. You need to stop doing that. P+. He stops. Good boy. Thanks for stopping. R plus, grab the slip, bring him over to somewhere he should be, a place that's his, a designated safe area, place with the signal, fourth pause on, mark, that's R plus, and reward with something he should chew on. Okay? I hope that makes sense for that one. And we'll go over the nipping really quickly too. Obviously, he's not going to nip me right now, just the same as he's not going to chew on something he shouldn't. When you have gone through that process I just described enough times with a dog, they gain the desire to behave around you because they don't want to deal with all that. They don't like dealing with the whole process of disruption, reinforcement. I got to go over to this place now. I got to chew. They would rather just make the better decision to chew on the bone like he did here instead of the plant or the wicker basket. And they're going to stick with that because that leaves them to their own devices the most. That path has the least correction, the least disruption, and the least hassle. And they really just want some stimulation. So they'll choose the right stimuli if we go through that exercise with them over time. He has no desire to be disobedient right now. He has no desire to chew on me. He looks like he might take a nap even. But let's say, I don't know, we're trying to leash up and he starts the little bit of nipping. All that is, I saw it when we were at your home. He's just playing. When it's the nipping over the nails, he's just saying he doesn't want you to touch his nails. He's not going to hurt you. He's not a mean dog by any means. But it's annoying, and it's not a great behavior. So we need to stop it. The first thing to do when you're getting all of that nipping and that type of engagement, just pretend you're the wicker basket, okay? So you need to first disrupt it. You can't do anything else until you stop him from doing it. There's nothing positive to reinforce yet. So nipping at my hands, nipping at my hands. It gets to a point where you've had enough. It's annoying. Right? Shh. Followed by whatever your command is going to be that eventually will phase out the can. So if I was nipping, spray enough, and you need to neutralize your body and control and lower your tone. You can't get a high-pitched tone in that moment. You can't start flailing around in that moment. You have to neutralize yourself, control, and lower your tone. So nip, nip, nip. Shh, enough. Neutral posture, tall, serious. Take your hands, ball them into fists so they're less exciting and he can't grab at your fingers, and put them to your sides. We're done here. It's over. As soon as you decide it's over, confidently tell him that's enough. It's over. Now, he stops. He has a change in demeanor. Maybe he offers a sit, or at the very least, he just calms down and stops flailing about. Just like with the biting on something he shouldn't. Since he listened to you after the P+, we do a minor R+, and we say, good boy. Reset. Try again, whatever it is you need to do in that moment. The nails, the leashing up, putting the collar on, whatever you were trying to do when he started nipping at you. And he should have this lead on, so if you're running these sessions and he's doing this to your kid and he's jumping up and grabbing at clothing, completely unacceptable. We need to advocate for them, right? So same thing, come in, spray, he stops, enough, he's done, reset. Now if he's going to keep coming back at people, bring him over to his place, put him in a place, let him chill out, he needs a reset. It's not a punishment area, it's a positive area, but he needs to stay there and relax, rethink how he engages with people. When he's interacting with them and it's going well, make sure we're reinforcing it the entire time, because if we're only correcting for when it goes bad and not reinforcing for when it goes good, he doesn't really understand how he should engage. He knows how to engage with me. He knows what I like. I like a calm dog. I like a dog that's confident, independent, so he's not necessarily all over me all the time. And I don't like the opposite of that. I don't like a codependent dog. I don't like a very excited, jumping around, flipping out dog. So anytime he starts nipping and doing all that stuff, he wants engagement, I give him none. I neutralize, I say enough, and we're done. He wants my engagement, so he calms down. I say, good boy. And once he listens, we can R+, and then go pet and engage. Essentially, we're using affection as our tool here. That's what he values in that moment when he's nipping playfully. That's what he wants. That's what we refrain from giving until he is in a calm state of mind. And we can read dogs' state of minds incredibly easily because they don't speak. It's all written in their body language. So if he's flailing, wiggling, spinning, jumping up and down, not a calm state. That gets a shh, no, enough. He chills out, re-engage. He's being a real good boy now, as you can see. So you have to remember, in these moments where he is relaxed, show him you like a relaxed dog. Don't just enjoy the moments when your dog's relaxed and think, wow, this is going fantastically right now. I don't have to do any training. Wrong. It's more important that you do training now. So he's calm. I want to show him I like calm dogs. So he had a double down, which means his head was all the way down. I'm going to click, and I'm going to treat. Does he know why he got treats right now? Not necessarily, but he received them when his mind and his body were calm. So that sends a signal to his brain, even though he consciously doesn't know it, that subconsciously, this guy likes a calm, relaxed dog that's not all over him. And when I do that, I get more out of it. I get more treats, I get more bones, whatever it is. So with me, he knows it's not pawing at me, it's not nipping at me, it's not jumping that's going to get my affection and me giving him rewards. He knows it's going to be being calm. So we can't forget our ABCs. Always build calm, all the time. When you have that rambunctiousness, the biting, nipping, all that, withhold, subtract yourself from the situation, neutralize, no affection, enough. He listens. Thanks for listening. He changes his body language. Re-engage. Okay? Dogs, more often than not, just because of how I move my body and how I speak, will act very calmly around me. It's not a magic button in my pocket. I don't have a special whistle or anything. It's just tone and body language. That's all they're interested in. So if you're having a hard time getting your dog to calm down, consider first whether or not you are calm. If you're not, work on that. Neutral, reset, low tone, controlled tone, not a corrective tone, just low, controlled. I can put dogs to sleep with these lectures every day. There's no reason you can't do the same thing at home. You can still be a person. You can still gesticulate and move around. I'm not saying that. But I'm not sprinting around my house. I'm not fluttering things in my hands. I'm not speaking an incredibly high-pitched voice to him. All those things are going to create the dog that you sent to training and not the dog you want when he comes home from training. So remember that. He's being calm again. He had the double down. He doesn't know why I'm about to give him treats consciously, but physiologically, he absolutely knows why. His subconscious is helping him out there. His biology is helping him out there. Reward your dogs in calm states of mind all the time. And, you know, once we're at a year, that's a nice, you know, our nice kind of even plateau, or it should be if we do enough work. We can phase out all the times we reinforce calm. The dog will kind of just know how he should be around us, and how he should be to him is in what state do I get the most rewards? Affection, toys, treats, pets, whatever it is. In what state am I rewarded the most? If he's constantly rewarded in an excitable state, you're going to have an excitable dog. You're going to have a dog a lot more close to making mistakes. If you start to shape through their first year calmness as much as you can, and independence as much as you can, and control as much as you can, you're going to have a calm, independent, controlled dog. You make the dog that you get. It's not by accident. It's not by a random unluck of the draw. We make the dogs that we live with. So we have to be cognizant of the things we're doing. We have to do things consciously. We can't just randomly be around our dog and hope that they turn out great. What do you say, bud? Good session. Good session. Everything down to the way that I pet. Calm, controlled, relaxed. Good job, bud. And we'll just do a quick body sensitivity check since he doesn't like the paws being touched. I'm going to get ready with my clicker because I'm going to anticipate that he's going to do well with it. Grab the paw. Good job. Absolutely no nipping, absolutely no flailing or trying to rip the paw out of my hand. No interest in it. I'll do an exercise. You know, it'll be a good exercise to do tomorrow with the brush because I know we got some issues with the brush, so I'll do that tomorrow, but I do it in this same way. I put him on the place perch, let him chill out, chew a bone for a bit, reward him just being calm, just reward him doing nothing, and then try it. Ready, bud? Okay, let's go. Free. Yes.